All right, welcome you guys to a part two of the video. All right. Of course, last time, in the other video, previous video, not too far off, right? We were speaking about the seven seals. All right. And yes, today it's not just gonna be about the seven seals. So before I get to all of that, welcome again. Loving heirs of our Father's throne, promise of our Father's glory. All right, welcome in Yahushua, Yeshua, Elohim Adonai. Welcome to the loving state of learning the truth and also residing in that truth. Because while we're here to improve ourselves, and I understand that there are people that think about mythology and all of these, mystical or mythical type of resonance, and how people don't really put two and two together, but it has to make sense. Why there are words like Zeus and stuff like that. Now people understand what Zeus is not even it doesn't even represent Christ. And even if you thought about it in the sense of how they try to the situation, it would never do. It never will. It never has. When you consider demons, before we even start anything, or devils, right? Look at them like children. What happens when you don't give somebody your full attention? Don't they start to, I love you? Not love, loathe, like loathe. They love you and dislike you at the same time. I love you. Did I say loathe? Is it loathe? Is that how you pronounce it? Because my English is not the best, but we're getting there. You see, guys, you see that I'm camping out here. I'm out here on my warrior time, not no games. All right. But what happens when you don't give something an attention? It starts to show you a little bit of resistance, right? So think of the demons like that and the devils like that. They're very childish. I'm just saying. Look at how everything in this world is made is placed off. All of these things that's in the world is based off of entertainment. Entertainment. If they can keep you in a childlike state of mind, but make you feel grown because of what? Your desires, right? They got you. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope it does. But let's go. We're today going to talk about chapter 15. Like I said, if anybody want to use the words that I use or anything that I use, you see my second laptop over there, that I use, or whatever the situation is, right? In this scenario, right? Be free to use it as long as you give the right narrative and the right contents. That's perfect. I don't really need all of that extra stuff. I just want people to know the actual message. Did you understand the message? That's all that is to it. Did you understand the message, and did you practice the message? Do you keep it in your heart? Do you keep it in your mind, your spirit, and in your soul? Like, just digest, and not just hear and understand. Because when you understand, you can you can remember it, but when you digest something, you can break it down. Okay, so all right, we're gonna be today in Revelation, as far as the previous video, so that we can better understand a few other minor things, which I'm still gonna talk about Revelation before we end up before we step out of Revelation. Right, chapter 15. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna give you guys about 10 seconds to grab your biblioteca, your Bible. All right, let's get started. All right. 10 seconds is on the way. We have about I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know. I think it's been about 10 seconds that unfold. I guess I'm a rapper now. I don't know. Maybe I should be given like some type of studio time. I don't know. That's for you guys to like or not. And I saw another sign, because now we're going to go in verse 1. Chapter 15. My apologies. Verse 1. All right. And I saw I don't know what that was. I don't know. Sniffles. I felt it coming out. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, seven angels having the seven last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. And remember what I say about words and what it means. So when you understand words, you know exactly what I mean. So that means you watch my videos, all right? I might start doing content where I'm gonna start putting stuff at the top, like, like no, I can't even do it here. All right, I cannot do it here. Maybe like on the side, on the side and stuff, like maybe like right here or like right here or something like that, or like right here or something. One of like I'm gonna just start putting words for what it is, so everybody see it in full print, full bold print, so you can understand what I'm saying. All right, it's been more than 10 seconds. I've been talking about a minute already now, so let's get started. Verse 1. And I saw another. Well, we already read verse 1, but verse 1 talks about the seven angels. Now, when we talk about the seven angels, we're talking about what? Calamity, and out of those seven angels are what? The four horsemen of apocalypse. Yeah, yeah. So, for people that don't understand, we're gonna really understand exactly what this is, and this is so beautiful. All right. And I saw it where I saw it as it were a sea of glass. My apologies. Let me reread that one more time just so that we can be on the same page. And I saw it as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. Meaning what? The frequency, the words of Elohim has changed what? Has changed your body. Why did they say glass over water? What was the main faction, the main function of what brought us here into this world? Was it not through water? Was it not through what is it called? This ethereal body? Mind you, in the heavens, especially if you read 14, 13, 12, all the way to 1, back to 1, right? It describes exactly the different types of bodies, right, that exist in the heavenly realms. And some of them, they are covered with flame. Some of them, they have different, some of them have mystical type of strange looks that are not common to us. And why do you think that it says glass? What happens when you melt glass? Doesn't it start to form a different shape? It starts to be mendable. All right, let's continue. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, "Great and marvelous are thy works, and Lord God Almighty, just true are thy work, are thy ways, thou King of saints." They're magnifying the glory of Yahuwah, and also giving praise to Yahusha, right, for the things that had happened on this earth and a great victory. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Ooh, 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 ooh. Even the saints were singing, meaning the people, your predecessors, right? And the people that came before you, that set the path, that set the roads, that set a lot of things, even though it got corrupted over time, being the church. All right? Let's just be truthful, because a lot of churches are corrupted. Ooh, apologies. Excuse me. Excuse us. For all right, and we're in verse 4. Who shall not fear thee, O Lord, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. We don't have to really, break that down, but of course, he's deemed the glory in every aspect, and all will bow before him. Just to make it that simple for those that didn't understand. And after that, I looked, and behold, and mind you, this is John also, right? And after that, I looked, and behold, the temple of tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. And for a lot of people that don't know these things, these are all artifacts. These are all some type of devices. Remember that alchemy comes from magic, and magic was taught unto man. Alchemy is a form of different what? Stasis, right? Of what? Elements being used together to give what? an effect from a cause, just like everything in this world that has purpose. So, as of below, as above, right? Everything. And in the heavenly realms, it's much more complex. Way so much complex where it's based off of frequency, harmony, unity, mainly particularly love. Okay? And when people don't realize this, is the love of who? Our Elohim. Okay? And the seven angels came out of the temple, having the seven plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. It's like they were basically being protected, or they were guarded in a certain aspect, right? And a lot of you wouldn't understand why, but the next verse is going to really tell you why without really saying too much. And one of their four beasts gave unto the seven angels seven golden vials full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. Do you understand what that means? So for people that don't realize that, like I like this, like the what is the hint that I give you earlier in the beginning of my statement and my claim, right? Which is not really a claim, but it's just something for you to think about. If you tell a child to not touch something, right? Disobedience is one of sins, biggest flaws. Well, righteousness, biggest flaws is sin, right? What do you think was some when you tell somebody not to do something and they do it? They're gonna keep going. They're gonna keep doing it because why? They got a childish like type of mindset, right? And they're gonna stumble upon something that's gonna make them even go worse. You think that somebody just get kicked out of heaven because they want to be like somebody? No, it takes a certain type of corruption. Now, mind you, these seven angels, they were calamity, but for good reason, and they obeyed under their calamity. And they were cleansed, and they were given a box. Vials is a vessel. It's some type of vase or box, something to contain or hold something in, something that can be sealed up. Why would they each receive a box? And it says what? Golden. Golden vials full of wrath. And the next verse is gonna literally give a breakdown as to what I'm gonna give a word at the end of the eighth verse, but just for you to comprehend a little bit of something, okay? And the temple was filled with the smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no man was able to enter into the temple till the seven plagues of the seven angels were fulfilled. You know why they didn't want to write it down? Because they wanted to make Yahuwah so all good. Like, yes, he's all good, but his wrath is his judgment as well. Meaning, his wrath is his creation in which he put it into something so that he doesn't have to express it because it can be detrimental to the world. And what do I mean by that? And why did I say that? The angels were corrupted. The angels that were given those missions to be calamity upon the earth, they were corrupted. They weren't corrupted as evil, they were corrupted with wrath, meaning they had a certain type of, what's the word, ignition to give them a starter reason, some type of purpose, right? To go beyond exactly what is determined good. But it was for good, it was for the right purpose, it was for a righteous purpose. To cleanse the world and to destroy the things of evil. Evil was not contained in wrath. Wrath is just punishment. Remember that. So it was also a corruption. Like you could say that it was like if anybody has ever watched Generator Rex, right? When you see those atomic little particles that spring on, right? It's like that where it took over them. Right? And they had to been cleansed. That's the reason why all the angels, all the elders, all the saints, even him, John, that was the witness, right? Could not go in the temple because why? It had to all been contained again. It had to be under control. They had to go back to being under control. That's why it was filled with smoke. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a word. Hopefully, a lot of you are familiar with it. Pandora's box. Because if you look in verse 14, I mean chapter 14, right? And it tell you that Christ is gonna come in a golden what? In a golden crown that's gonna be shining, right? Shining, very, very bright, right? On a cloud, holding a sickle. When you put two and two together and you look up the word chronos, right? What does that mean? A person that is in charge of time. What is time and how is time measured? Isn't it by day and night? And then when they speak about the Antichrist, right? The beast, she's gonna appear with a miraculous, marvelous act, which is gonna strike what lightning. Doesn't that sound quite familiar? Zeus. Hmm? For a lot of people that don't really know the mythological stories, right? I'm not too much of a scholar on everything, but I do know some things, right? Some things when you put it together, right? Like the word Apollyon, Apollo, and all of these things, right? So everything has to have a meaning and it has to have a purpose, right? I just want you guys to think about these things very carefully because some people might take it in the wrong context. No, the context that I want you to understand is this. Don't look at Yahuwah, right, in the wrong context as evil. No. Understand that like all the ordinance and the court, like everything that has been appointed already been made. It has already been, registered, pre-made, just so that for this specific event that's to come, it's gonna be under control. So if you really have the seal of our Father, Elohim, you will be all right. Because it even speaks about the 144K. It speaks about a 144K, right? And I'm gonna just say it like that. That's gonna be involved in the war. When they talk about 144K or 144,000 people, right? They're not speaking about people that's just gonna be yeah, the superpowers this. Yes, you're gonna have superpowers, but trust and believe that 144,000, you're not gonna gain those super strength and abilities and ordinance, what we call it an abundance of grace. And people don't even know what the word grace means. People think that grace is like it's like the same thing like favor. Yes, it's like favor, but grace is more of a effect. Grace is more of an effect, right? An effect that can be applied onto something. And when you give something grace, it has some type of effect of life. Let me just say it like that. Okay? For anyone that has probably never watched Supernatural, please, I'm not saying go and watch it, but there are a few things in there that will give you a hint about certain things, right? Grace is like some type of living effect that can be applied to living things or even items. That's where we get artifacts, supernatural artifacts. A lot of people don't believe in what I say, but trust and believe. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I pray for every last one of you all the time, every single day. I'm pretty sure some of you out here know exactly what I'm saying. Some of you might not. Some of you might know a little bit of the occultism stuff, right? But I'm not going to get into that because that's not what we're here for. Okay? So when you're speaking of truth, right? And you understand that like things always, like I said, the buy and buy, right, was made to disrupt people's mind. It was made to misunderstand people, well, to confuse people and make them misunderstand the actual nature of why rather than where and when. right? A lot of people make contracts. That's why you see a lot of their families are well off, but then a lot of them, and a lot of times when they die, you don't really see their bodies. You don't see none of these extra stuff, and they grow up to look very raisiny. For those who know what I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, you're well off with this message, okay? And like I said, a lot of us, we're heirs of a throne. We're heirs of power. We're heirs of a new generation. We're not here to be conquered. We're here to conquer. That's why they're going to be fearful. So there's going to be a specific woman that specifically is going to be the mother of this entire battlefield. I want you to know that she has a name. She has very much of a name. She will be the one that's going to carry the sun, the bright light upon this earth. And it's not going to be a game or a joke. That's why us 144 will be present, because why? We're going to be taking over a portion of the earth until he arrives. We're going to be holding it down for the rest of the people that are going to be here. I'm not saying that I'm one of the 144. I'm not making these claims, even though I did say what I was saying, but I'm just saying that a lot of us, right, us people, or people that will be chosen, we are going to be responsible of our own people. Meaning your faith is going to determine first if you get chosen, and then second if you're going to be able to live in these type of moments. You wouldn't even really be able to die, honestly. You would not honestly be able to die that easily. But if you are going to end up dying, trust and believe, if it's that you did something stupid, you will be lifted off. Respectfully. Okay? But like I was talking about, the woman that's going to be involved in this, please, if you don't want to be a situation starter, please do not put yourself in situations, because just like the story of Joseph, Mary and Joseph, all of these things had to take nature, because even the Antichrist has to be birthed. He has to. That's just the order and the laws of which was made, because if they don't, there's going to be a lot of catastrophic disasters. And even if they're made right, it's just not going to have the same effect. It just won't. And I want you guys to do me one favor, just one very great favor if you can, right? And this is for your own behalf, right? I want you to say the word Jupiter backwards. The same way that I said it forward, Jupiter, right? Say it backwards. Say it backwards. And let me just to reassure, right? Let me reassure this, because I want you guys to really be on some stuff right here, because it's very important. I gotta get on the iPhone and do the little search right here real quick. All right. We're gonna look at what the color just so you guys know I'm not tripping. Jupiter, red brown belts. It's a mostly beige with brilliant red brown belts. White, orange, brown, and red. I want you guys to also know that the Antichrist The first, the idolized Antichrist, because there's going to be two. One that's going to be doing the actual miracles is going to be the face of all the operations, right? And you're going to have the beast itself. You're going to have the Antichrist, and you're going to have the beast. Same. They come from the same. They come from the same monarch, but different purposes. Because you're going to have the dragon, the beast, and the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to be the face of the operation. The beast, a straight chimera. The Antichrist is going to have to be birthed. He's going to have to be birthed. Because that's the only way those operations are going to work. You can tell when something is fake. We all can. Doesn't matter if it's AI made or produced or monitored or whatever the case is. For those that have eyes, they can see. For those that have ears, they can hear. And they can not only hear, but they will be able to understand and let alone digest what I just said. I've given you two things, and I'm gonna leave you with a third. Isn't this world called Gaia? Right? And what does everything in this world resembles when it's first at its primordial state? Is it not an egg? So spell Gaia backwards. And I think that's all I gotta say for you guys today. May the love of of our Father, Elohim Adonai, may he be with you, his favor be upon you, may his grace be of you in every aspect, and may it be abundantly, and may it run your cup full, that it never spill, that even if it does spill, it will never cease to stop. May you be in the full presence of his glory, right? And may you continue to be loved, to feel love. Even for the women out there that think that there's nobody out here to love you, we all love you that truly love our Father with the love of our Father, Elohim Adonai. And Eli, we love you truly. And for the men as well, don't think you left out here. We love you, brethren. It's like truly, we dearly love you, okay? Don't ever feel shortened out. Don't feel left out, because all of these activities, cutting yourselves, both women and men, right? It's not a good thing. It's a sign of possession. Misery it's not also it's not. It does, like, we go through tribulations. We're gonna go through tribulations, especially if you accept the truth and you walk in righteousness. You're gonna go through tribulations. And when the time is gonna come for you to go through the worst of them all, trust and believe. Misery, sadness, what they call it again, when you're depressed. Depression, it's not a thing. I'm sorry to tell you that. You got to remember, it's an emotion. It's a memory reflex, right? So it's a memory reflex to an emotional how you feel things. It's based on your perception. That's why the enemy uses your mind a lot. Your perception is exactly how they torment you. So keep your mind in a peaceful state. And you know one thing, use what they put in your mind. So if they give you an image of something, put the Bible next to it if you have to. Shoot, think about running water of a river. Think about rain. Think about anything positive to contradict that image that you want to put in next to what they put in your mind. I'm trying to tell you. I started learning things that will really help us. So please keep yourself safe. Don't be out here judging people. Don't be spreading rumors. Don't be speaking bad about nobody, not even in your mind or in your heart or in your spirit. Don't be dreaming about nothing. If you having sex in your dreams, understand that that's a spiritual attack. And you have to pray on that. And you have to dearly refuse it and reject it. Okay. A lot of people say they have wet dreams. That's not good. That means if you have a spiritual life, I'm talking about a real spiritual life. You have a spiritual husband, a spiritual wife. You being either a woman or a man, it doesn't matter what sex is right then, because a lot of spirits are very fluid, right? If you have any of these spiritual things going on in your life while you are dreaming, it's not a good thing. You got to pray on it. You should not be having sex in the spirit. You should not be having sex in the spirit. I'm letting you know that right now. It's not a good thing. Having sex in the spirit is only a sign of you getting possessed. It's only a sign of you being possessed of, meaning you are now a collectible to whatever demon that is. And they're gonna just use your energy however they want, whenever they want. And a lot of times, men that usually go through these things, and they wake up. We wake up with morning wood, and yes, that's not a good thing. Yes, like yeah, you can wake up with morning wood, but what is the cause to you waking up with that? And women, I'm not gonna get too much into that, but you don't really get no effects like that. But whatever effects that you get, that may be that too. That's the situation for that as well. If you don't, if you you should not be going to sleep thinking about sex. You should go to sleep being in a place that you're supposed to be in the kingdom of where you're at. Do you not know that? I want to before I let you guys off. Do you guys know that we're all in the kingdom? Meaning the people that you associate with is a castle. So you can be sleeping in your house. That doesn't mean that the house that you're sleeping in is exactly where your spirit reside. Meaning your mind is at. Wherever your mind is at is exactly where your spirit is going to be at. So understand, in a kingdom there are castles. In a nation there's castles. So when you're around people that you care about and that you love, right, and that is with you, right, that's truly with you, right, it's a castle. So not only is it a castle, it's a place where you can be protected, meaning there might be somebody sleeping in that castle that's there, where your spirit might be there, but then they don't really have nobody to defend off. You pray every day. You got to pray. Got to make sure you ask your Father, right? Our Father, to always send angels to come on your behalf for the things that you are not seeing, that you cannot understand, that you cannot sense. Remember that and keep that in your mind. Keep that in your heart. Keep that in your spirit. And consistently think of good and not bad. And all of these things that you deal with, it will all pass. Trust it. We all need examples. We all need leaders. We all need to be followers of some kind. You got to be a babe in order to be what? To be grown. You have to start as a child. So if you think that my words is unvaluable, may so be. But I hope that you learn something, and I hope that you take it in you and you take it with you and you become of it and you grow with it. Okay? Love you all. And I hope the love continue to spread in your life. In your life.